everyone, Charizze here and welcome to my August Plan With Me video. Today we are going to set up my bullet journal for August with this light academia or library theme. I am so excited to show you the process of all the spreads I came up with this theme, and it also became one of my favorites this year. I will be doing a scrapbook or collage style here, as well as some paintings. And before that, I wanted to show you these washi tapes that I will be using in this setup. This is the Light Academia washi tape collection from Notebook Therapy, which you can also have the chance to win later. So without further ado, let's get started with our cover page. Here are some more materials I will be using. I handmade this coffee stained paper and printed out a book page for a vintage look. I also have a craft paper and a 300 GSM cold press watercolor paper that I already cut out accordingly. So I'm just going to layer all of these. I usually do painting first, but since I will be using gouache for the painting and a heavy watercolor paper, I don't have to worry about it buckling on the page. As always, I listed all the supplies I'm using in this setup down the description box below. I still wanted to have those straight edges after the painting, so I added washi tapes on the sides of the watercolor paper. The illustration I am painting for my cover page is heavily inspired by my favorite illustrator, Maxine. You can find her at Art of Maxine V on Instagram. I also linked her account on the description box below. The piece I got particularly inspired by is her red library illustration, but I wanted to create my own spin to it and a bit easier to paint. Like I said, I'm going for the light academia aesthetic, so I'm going to be using light colors and dim shades. So the scene here is a girl in the middle of a library. I'm painting an arch first using this cream color. I will also try to list down all the colors I'm using in the paintings, but if I missed something, just leave a comment below and I will answer them as soon as I can. After painting the base, I added the second layer, which is gray color. The light will be coming from the window, so the center, as you can see, I only painted the parts that are facing backwards. I went on to paint the details already with a dark brown color using my small detail brush. And I'm sorry, by the way, that my hand is blocking the camera, but I hope you still get the idea of what I was doing here, which is just outlining the arch and adding some more lines for a sketchy look. My hand is actually shaky too, and so are the lines. Then on the inside, just on both sides of the piers, are these tall bookcases. I just used the same cream mixture of paint I used on the arch and painted like 8 shelves and a drawer on each of them. Then I painted the books inside with different colors. They seem very autumnal, and I'm actually already looking forward to that season. Even though we don't have it here, I'm just ready to leave summer behind and set my mind to autumn or fall, because it is so hot and it's getting harder to film and it always feels like I'm melting all the time. But back to the painting. What makes this illustration easy to paint is that a lot of the elements are symmetrical. What's on the left side will have the same thing on the right side. Except of course for the elements on the center point, like the chandelier and the girl that I will be painting next. So here I painted the roof with dark brown and the window with light yellow and some ornamental details on it. moving on to the character I'm going to paint is this schoolgirl type. I'm painting her hair black, and I actually kind of messed up the head part and accidentally painted it bigger than my initial drawing, which looked weird, but I just covered that up with the color I used for the window. I searched up for some light academia outfits, and I went for this white long sleeve shirt paired with beige sweater vest and pleated skirt. She's wearing a brown tote bag and black shoes. I also painted a little green book she's holding there. I just finished the details on her curly black hair with subtle highlights. Then let's continue painting the rest of the floor with this yellow ochre and a red carpet on the middle. I'm working on the empty wall by painting it with an old rose color. I just mixed white and a little bit of burnt sienna and red. I think I mentioned this before, but this is the perfect example of how a reactivated paint looks like on paper versus a fresh paint. I continued painting this illustration on the next day, and I used, or rather reactivated dried paints I used yesterday, and that was the first layer I applied here. As you can see, it has the grainy look on it, but I poured fresh paints on my palette, mixed the same shade, and layered it on top. Now it looks smooth than the first one. So if you've been practicing with gouache, you might encounter or have encountered this at some point in your paintings. If you're not looking for a grainy effect on your paintings, mixing fresh paints is the key. Or maybe just mix both dried and fresh paint so you can still make use of them and not waste a lot of paint. I painted 2 vases with flowers on both sides. Again, I painted them like they are mirroring each other. I painted flowers with yellow and pink. I didn't do this on the leaves, but I remembered putting white gouache on the flowers instead, so the colors will pop out better and become vibrant because there is already a darker color behind. I drew some very simple decoration on the carpet. I used white gel pen to outline a border and just thickened it out with white gouache to make it easier, and back again with the gel pen to draw some more thinner lines and ornamental designs. I just completed this painting with some more shadows on the vases, the girl, and under the window. I then removed the washi tapes, and sadly it ripped some parts on the book page print off on the right bottom, but in the end I think it's a cool effect. Now for the titles, I'm gonna be using a fountain pen. I am currently using this brush fountain pen from Ferris Wheel Press, and I've been loving using them outside my bullet journal. I just recently decided to use a separate notebook for daily journaling, so I thought it would perfectly match this theme as well. I'm also using the writing desk ink from Ferris Wheel Press. It is a perfect color for daily writing. I'm writing the August title in one of these sticky notes with a cursive or faux calligraphy type of font. I think I would have ripped the sticky note better or cut into the same shape but smaller just because I didn't want to paste it on top of the painting. Anyway, I also added these polka dot stickers below the painting. I'm including a quote page this month, and that is usually on the left page of this cover spread. Something I learned about writing with fountain pen, especially with calligraphy, is to write slowly. I personally find it satisfying. I also noticed that my handwriting looks different compared to when I use fine liners or ballpoint pens. For the final decoration, I'm adding some of these stickers around the quote. And that finally finishes my August cover spread. I know that was a long one, so let's flip over to the next one and set up my calendar. I am attaching this craft paper to cover the whole page, then I drew the calendar itself with my white gel pen. I've been messing up with calendars and August didn't dodge. I was sitting for a good 10 minutes figuring out what to do to fix it. I am supposed to glue a ripped coffee stained paper here, but I guess I'll have to make it bigger to hide the extra rows. I was still thinking about what to do on top of it, but for now, let's just add these days of the week stickers and then the same ripped paper above. I layered it with another washi tape design from the Light Academia collection. I wrote the title on the same sticky note, but this time I kept the shape as is and drew a border around the title with the Zebra Sarasa Vintage Color Gel Pen in camel yellow. I added stickers to fill some spaces here, and then I decided to just write another quote, a very long quote. Aside from drawings, I also like to write words or titles with a pencil beforehand to calculate the spacing, especially when there are no dots to have as a guide. But since this part of the setup is spontaneous, I just went on and write the quote without marking them with a pencil first. The last couple of words almost went up, but I was able to write it straight for the most part, and I'm happy about that. On the other side of the spread is for my monthly goals and focus, a page where I write down important things I want to accomplish and prioritize this month. Even though I have this place for that, in reality, sometimes I don't get to achieve some of my goals, and that for me is okay. There will always be another month to try again. At the bottom left corner, I'm going to do a little painting of broken Greek statue head. I painted it first with a warm gray, and while I waited for it to dry, I also painted the first layers of the floral and botanical decoration. Going back to the statue, I painted the shadows on the right side of the face and neck, and on top just under the flower with a darker tone. Using a pigmented consistency of this gray paint, I just outlined the facial features, and since my initial sketch was completely covered, I just drew it again with a pencil. I painted a simple yellow flower. I just painted the inner parts with a darker yellow as well, and then outlined the petals and stamen with brown. The leaves were also an easy one. I actually tried a new style here. I'm not sure if I like it or not, but I think it's a nice experiment. The final touches on this page, I added this black and white grid washi tape and painted a round shape. I just thought it needed something else here, and it also gave a bit of an abstract look on it. I'm also going to cut a bit of this page vertically like a Dutch door, and then I'm adding the passion flower washi tape onto the edge of the page next to it, so whenever you flip this, you will still see the same edge design on both spreads. On the next spread, I decorated it with the same coffee stained paper and washi tape design, so it looks like an extension of the previous one. I decided to work on the page to the right first. I cut a couple of these ivory colored paper in rectangular shape with concave corners. It's like a specialty paper with some sort of marble design on it that I got from our local stationery shop, and this is where I will be writing my monthly affirmations and highlights. I feel like my collage style is not that on point, if those are the right words to say, but in this setup, I like how airy and spacious the spreads look, that they have enough space to write on and not overly decorated. If there is minimalism in scrapbooking, I think that's the idea, but if you like to layer a lot of things on your page in your bullet journal, that's cool too. I'm not coming at you. I just wish that I'm good at layering too, because I honestly love them as well, and in the end, the journal gets chunky. But anyway, let's continue to the habit trackers. Oh, the habit trackers, the interactive ones you guys love, are back in my bullet journal finally. I am so excited about this. So this one is similar to my other interactive habit trackers, but the idea is this is going to be like an envelope of letters or postcards. I'm using a craft paper to hold the trackers. Then I wrote habits on the center and a little reminder to take care of myself. I'm using white vellum paper for the trackers. I cut 6 of them that fit perfectly inside the envelope. As soon as I saw this postage stamp washi tape design in the collection, this idea instantly came to mind. There are 7 different stamp designs on this roll, so on each vellum paper, I just designed the trackers like a postcard, the stamp on the top right corner, round shapes for the trackers itself on the left side, the habit titles on the same cursive font on top, and then I also scribbled some words that you can hardly read on the part where the address is typically written in postcards. I made the rest of the trackers off camera, and this is how they look. I also added this mail stamp on each tracker to complete the whole postcard look. I have one more postage stamp design left from the washi tape roll, and I thought it would be perfect to decorate the envelope itself. I also added this dried flower and some handmade paper with flower petals on it on the edges. It looks like a penpal envelope that I see a lot these days, and it was a lot of work too, but I really enjoyed making it, and for sure it will be fun to track my habits again. On the left side finally is my gratitude page, or I usually call it gratitude journal. I am doing another gouache painting here. It is a scene about writing a letter with a quill, with books, coffee, vintage candle, a pair of glasses, and envelopes around. It is also one of my favorite paintings in this setup. In this digital age, I still love writing letters. I remember writing a letter to my husband when we were still dating and to my family when I was younger. I also remember not giving it to them because I felt shy about it, so I just left them in a guest room upstairs until one day my sister found them. It was for Christmas, I think. I thought it was so cheesy, so I didn't bother giving it to them. I cringed for a while when she told me she found them. I also wrote some for my friends, but those letters never went out. I don't know where I kept them to, so if you're a close friend of mine and you're watching this, please don't ask me to give it to you. So yeah, I'm quite old-fashioned. Handwritten letters just have sentimental value for me. Okay, after the painting, I just wrote the title on the top left, and this spread is finally done. Oh, I absolutely love this. But it's time to flip to the next spread and create my content planner. I glued a ripped coffee stained paper vertically, and for the title, I'm writing it on this strip of craft paper on top of the page. I decorated this part with stickers as well, and I also drew some sparkles around with the Zebra Sarasa gel pen. I don't know, but it felt weird to create a content planner this time. I usually use this to plan my YouTube videos and Instagram posts mostly. If you are on Instagram and you're following me, maybe you saw my rant about Instagram prioritizing Reels over feed posts nowadays. And sometimes posting there feels like it's not worth it anymore because it's forcing me to produce short videos, which I cannot do a lot at the moment along with YouTube. It's just a lot of work, and I know my fellow creators in the art and bullet journaling community feel the same way. This month of July, I barely looked at my content planner. I just post whenever I feel like posting, but we will see how it goes in the upcoming months. On this page, I'm also tracking my growth on each platform. I also don't know why I'm still tracking TikTok, to be honest, but I'll just keep at it for the rest of the year, I guess, and see how it goes too. We will have a little painted illustration here too. I am painting a vintage mirror with a rose on the reflection. I painted the rose in the same approach or style with the previous flower. The ornamental details on the mirror can be quite confusing, so a good sketch would be really helpful. I painted it with gold yellow and I just defined the details with dark brown. Beside the mirror, I also painted a stack of books and a vase of flowers on top. I glued the same width of coffee stained paper to the right side of the spread. And I almost forgot that I still have these book page prints, so I quickly added them on the corners. The next page will be my Songs of the Month page. Instead of a playlist, I'm trying out something new but still about the same idea, which is writing songs I'm listening to this month, but just my top 4 songs. I have this washi tape from the Washi Tape Shop's Academia collection that has a violin, roses, and musical notes design, and I thought it would be a lovely background to use on this page. I used the ivory paper for the title that says Songs of the Month, and then craft papers for my top 4 songs. I'm decorating the craft papers with this transparent washi tape as the album covers. And then I drew the play buttons below with white gel pen. I also drew a border around the tapes, but I didn't have the footage for that. And lastly are some sparkles at the bottom right of the page to tie everything together. And that's finally my content planner and Songs of the Month spread. Now for the last spreads of my August bullet journal setup are of course the weekly spreads. I attached a wider ripped coffee stained paper on the left, and then on top of it is this ripped coffee stained washi tape design. I wanted it to be a bit wider too, so on another paper I placed 2 tapes parallel to each other and ripped them off. I took a round pink sticky note, but I ripped it into a square. Then on top, I stamped 08 on it. I was bothered by the uneven space on the right side, so I reduced it a bit, but it got me bothered even more because I ripped it incorrectly, so I just covered this part with the polka dot stickers. There is a mini calendar below and then a place for notes under it. I drew some horizontal lines, and then I got the same handmade paper that is quite see-through. I just attached a grid washi tape on top and layered it with this sticky note where I wrote the notes title. I am making use of the sticky notes more here on my weekly spreads, so I cut them out in squares for each day of the week, except for weekends, which I combined. I also lost the footage where I cut out my weekly Dutch doors, but you can see it here while I'm painting one last illustration, and that is another tall bookcase. I decided to paint the books first. Again, I'm using earthy colors, very autumnal, and if you're deciding a theme for fall, I think this would be a great theme too. It's funny that I have made themes in the past that included books on them in the designs, but never really got to do a book theme alone. On this illustration, I'm just painting the books with different sizes and positions to make it interesting. Then there are also some decorations or display like vases, a globe, and candles with vintage holders. The fun part for me is painting the spine of the books. Like I mentioned, I'm hosting a Light Academia washi tape collection giveaway with Notebook Therapy. They are so kind to partner with me on this giveaway. It is open worldwide, so don't forget to enter by subscribing to this channel, like this video, and leave your thoughts about this setup or your favorite spreads we made here in the comments. I will announce the winner in the community section in my channel, so keep an eye on it. You can also find the link to their website and the giveaway details on the video description. And if you're interested to buy anything from their website, you can always use my discount code Charizze10 for 10% off, and they also offer free worldwide shipping. After that, I painted the bookcase with brown as well as the background of the books with cream mixture. The final detail will be these hanging house plants. And that's finally it for my August bullet journal setup. Here's a quick flip through of all the spreads we made together. I really love how this whole setup turned out. I love the Light Academia vibes. It was so nice to do some scrapbooking again in my monthly theme, and I'm honestly so excited to use this since I was not feeling my previous monthly setup. Setting up for summer is just pretty difficult for me, so this vintage and earthy colors are a motivation. And yes, I'm already transitioning to the next season. I hope you enjoyed this plan with me video and that you'll love it too as much as I do, and maybe got some new ideas and layouts for your own bullet journal. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. I really appreciate it despite my lengthy plan with me videos nowadays. But that's it for today. I wish you an amazing August, and I will talk to you soon in my next video. Bye everyone!